The following show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Audience discretion is advised.
Welcome to Thespian Talk, everybody. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and with me this week is Erin Mills, a.k.a. Dubious Khan. How you doing, Erin?
I'm fine. Greetings and celebrations to anyone who might be listening to these ramblings.
Yes. And the first thing you people probably would have noticed is, holy shit, his sound quality is so much better. His being mine, because, oh my god, I finally got the new microphone in. Oh my god, it is a blue snowball. It is metallic. It is the metallic. It's the mirror-like. Holy shit, I can see myself. I think I'm developing as it somewhere. Oh, dear.
Would you and the mic like a few minutes alone? I can vamp for a while. I can, read excerpts from some dense literary tome while you and the snowball go off in the closet for 7 minutes in heaven or whatever.
We had that the other day.
I don't want to hear about it.
No.
And neither do they.
No, I don't think they would either. Oh no, but no, it is just that great. I'm still waiting on a pop filter for it though. Just because for whatever reason I got this and the pop filter through Amazon, and of course the pop filter is like from somebody selling it through Amazon or whatever, and I don't know why, but the pop filter is not going to be here till May, whereas this got here like in just under a week, so it's weird.
I have it on good authority that in the meantime, pantyhose and a coat hanger makes an adequate substitute.
Yeah, well, but where am I going to find pantyhose around here? My mother doesn't even wear them. Just wow. But yeah, if I'm able to scare up some, I might try that. But in the meantime, oh my god, this past week the election cycle is starting up. We've already seen it. Holy shit. I mean, what was it? Ted Cruz has decided, yeah, I'm going to throw my hat in. And I'm hearing Mike Huckabee is wanting to try again, even though we did not like his ass back in 2008.
Oh, they loved him here. For those who don't know, I live in Utah. Mike Huckabee would have easily have carried this state. Why? Because for some reason everybody thinks, oh, he's the same religion I am. That must be fine. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm confusing him. That's Rodney, isn't it? That's my bad. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. That tells you how much I give a shit.
Yeah, fair enough. But for those who do give a shit, this actually is going to tie into my shout out for this week as well. For those who do, honestly, people really should follow the presidential stuff a little more closely. Not necessarily everything that goes on. Like, we don't care if Ted Cruz took a shit that day. We don't care. How is he going to do with his policies? What are his policies? What are his political beliefs? You want to pay attention to things like that, of course. And with all of the news out there, with everything else, it's a little difficult, but there is a site, a lot of people may have already heard of it, ontheissues.org. You go over there, they've got the 2016 presidential nominees and the incumbents and the primary people up already, and it's kind of telling that they have one section for the Republicans, and then they have one section for everybody else. Because it's like Democrats and Independents all in one little thing, and that's barely maybe half of the Republicans that they have on the site. That's like, yeah, you guys just, it's like bees to honey. Just like, hey, presidential election. Oh, dear.
Well, because they're all convinced the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and they're going to straighten it out, and it's just like, whatever. Of course, I don't have a high opinion of anybody in the political process either way, so...
Yeah, and that's totally fair enough. I mean, it's also telling of me, I am registered independent, so I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. If you are a fuckhead, I will call you out as such. But I care enough to want to stress that politicians need to do better jobs, representing the people that actually put them into office, and even beyond that.
Yeah. Enough with the rhetoric and the sound bites. Quit playing to MSNBC and Fox News. Let's just do your goddamn job.
Exactly.
You're getting paid a shit ton of money every year to do your goddamn job, and you'd rather just scream at each other. And frankly, I know elementary school kids who are more mature than most of you.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very, very much so. Hell, the kids around here are more mature than most of them. Oh, yeah. I mean, and there's gonna be debates. There have to be debates, but come on, we can't have it all the time. What are you doing for us? And people who vote for Republican, on the one hand, I want to call you stupid, but that may not be fair. Ignorant
No,
might
it's
be
not
another.
fair. Yeah, ignorance is not necessarily stupidity.
Right. Yeah. So it's like I would just urge those who have voted for Republican before, even with all of this stuff, because it's like the Republicans lately have just basically just come right out and said, yeah, we're evil. What? Not necessarily so many words, but
yeah, but let's face it, the Democrats aren't much better.
This is true. This is very
like
true.
The Republicans are like, yes, we're evil, which means that the Democrats, mainstream Republicans are evil. It's like, yeah, tell us something we don't know.
Yeah. But
and
God.
The Democrats, if half the problem is that half the Republican candidates are pandering to the Tea Party and the right wing nut job conspiracy nuts out there, half the damn time the Democrats are pandering to the people who still think it's 1968, and the people out on the far left who are like, we need to do everything. People who think Obama's not liberal enough, basically.
Right.
It's like, we need change, we need social justice, we need everything, and God damn it, we need it right now. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, that's nice, and that may be true. However, as a wise man once said, and I really wish I could remember where the hell this quote came from, change for the worse happens immediately. Change for the better takes a lot longer.
Yeah, it does. It does. So let's be patient.
Today's Tumblr reductivist mindset. It's like, if it's not changing right goddamn now, it's not happening, and everybody who isn't doing something about it is part of the problem.
Yeah, pretty much. And that kind of thing. It's like I've been coming around and saying more and more on more recent shows, like when we talked, I know Kat and I talked about like the public nudity thing, baby steps to get to it. I know I went public nudity, but that's one example I could think of right off the top of my head. I think it should be, a clothing optional thing, but at where we're at now, if people tried to do that, then they would use it for so many evil justifications and everything, which I think is what Kat's argument was. But and there is a middle ground to be met, but you know what? There are baby steps.
There are baby steps, and everybody needs to recognize that. You're not going to get this great, whether this great liberal or conservative utopia just because your guy gets put into office.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No.
There's too many people in this country with too many political differences of opinion, and it's all along the spectrum, guys. Not every Republican is a Tea Party jackass. Not every Democrat is a, holdover hippie.
Exactly. And yeah, sure, we report on stuff that might seem that way, but that is very true. Hashtag not all politicians.
Yeah.
Hashtag not all politicians. Okay. But do you happen to have any shout-outs for this week, or?
Shoot, I wasn't prepared for that. I'm sorry.
I forgot to remind you.
It's all good. Actually, let's do a shout out that actually came out that everybody in our particular community is appreciative. If you have not seen Mars Girls Farewell Fummy Kamen Rider, you need to. It is a wonderful film. It is extremely shoestring budget, but they did a lot with what little they had.
Mm-hmm.
If you have ever been a fan of Juwario, if you knew Juwario and you have not seen this yet, you need to.
Yes.
Some people, and they're not being mean, they're just being people who are judging it on its merits as a film, say that it's a little exposition heavy, and yeah, it kind of is. But frankly, given the way the whole thing was set up, they're trying to take into account that not everybody may have seen the Fummy Kamen Rider videos that Justin did before he died.
Right.
So they're trying to get everything in there so you know what you need to know right in the beginning of the thing. And it's also kind of a play on, the Super Sentai Tokusatsu. I'm pretty sure I just mangled that word horribly. My apologies. Fans of that kind of stuff, and they're kind of doing a send-up of it as well, which was kind of the original intention of the Fummy Kamen Rider project to begin with. And if you watch those, you see that there's always a shit ton of exposition before you get to any sort of action and fight scene.
Oh, yeah.
Fight scenes. But yeah, there's right in there. Mars Girl is wonderful in it. Cypher A, who is one of the other lead character, he's really good in it. See, Psycho Taku is in there as Shigeru Miyamoto, and it is amazing. It is an amazing performance and downright hilarious. And Obscurus Lupa is in there as his put upon secretary. There's some great cameos in there. Nash is in it, and he is wonderfully deadpan snarky, calling out bullshit on all the technobabble. Again, if you have not seen Farewell Fun Kamen Rider, you need to. It is available for free in its entirety on YouTube, on Mars Girl's YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure it's just youtube.com/MarsGirl.
I believe it is, yeah.
So there you go. That's what I think we need to bring attention to right now.
Definitely go and see it. I was in the live stream like for the pre-show and stuff, but I promised Becky that I would watch it with her. We would watch it together. So I kind of had to step out. Right.
Well, I was working during the live stream, so I had to see it the next night. So
yeah, but it's a good thing it's on YouTube. We can get like a whole Google Hangout going. It'll be awesome. So yes, those links and everything will be in the descriptions on the video formats. You know, if you see it on YouTube or Nerdvice or my site, you know, you'll have the links down below, so you don't have to remember. Wait, what was that site again? And have to go and search back. It'll be right down there. Yeah, convenience. I try.
Yes.
So with that, let's go ahead and hit our news. Oh dear. And the first one comes out of Batavia, Ohio. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. One word in a school picture is causing controversy at Claremont Northeastern Middle School. An 8th grade student's choice to wear a shirt with the word feminist on the front was edited out in a final school picture. The student wore the shirt in the front row of the traditional class photo. Why feminist? Like, that's my first question as I get to this point in the article. What's wrong with the word feminist? I mean, I could understand if, like, the kid was wearing, like, fuck on the shirt. Okay, I disagree with having to censor it out, but if it's a school rule, you gotta go with that.
Especially in middle school. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a shirt that says fuck in middle school, you're doing it for shock value, not for any sort of message you're trying to get across.
Yeah.
Feminist, okay, yeah, maybe not. If I may play devil's advocate on this.
Okay.
I think it's stupid. I want to disclaimer that before anybody starts getting anything there. There is I disagree with this move. And keep in mind, I live in Utah, land of the Dr. Dress high school dress photo, if you may remember that.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. In a conservative state, much like Ohio or Utah, both of which I have lived in, schools have to tread really, really lightly. They really do. Because when there is such a strong conservative/religious presence, they have to be very careful about anything that could be seen as a political commentary in school. They try very hard to keep things as politically neutral as possible.
Yeah.
Okay? And it sucks. In this day and age, it sucks to be an educator. Honestly, below the college level, it just sucks to be an educator because you have to walk that line. Because you have a bunch of parents who are going to scream bloody murder, and even more that will drop a lawsuit at the slightest provocation of anything they don't like.
Yeah.
So I can understand the school's logic behind it. Feminism is kind of a hot button issue right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to be seen as endorsing any sort of political view.
Right.
This did not happen, and I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, that's a hypothetical. That didn't happen. This happened. I'm like, look, I am willing to bet that if the kid wore a shirt that said, Jesus saves, they would have blurred that out too.
I would like to think so.
Right.
But considering
what it is, yeah, I know.
Yeah. I really would like to think so. But yeah, the article goes on to say the word was doctored from the photo to prevent any unintended controversies, said the school principal Kendra Young. The shirt itself doesn't break any school dress code rules, and the student has worn it to class in the past without problem, she concedes. So she's basically nipping it in the bud. Like, okay,
exactly what I said. This is going to be a shitstorm waiting to happen.
Yeah.
because all it takes is not necessarily her parents buying it, getting the picture, but parents of some other kid getting the picture and getting all bent out of shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let's see. This is not the first time the class photo has been altered. Past years, things like hand gestures have been altered from the final class photo.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
Because there's always one.
Always one asshole who wants to flip the bird.
Because he thinks he's being edgy and cool.
It's like, yeah, no. There's a
Grow
time and a
up.
place. There's a time and a place.
Time and a place. School photo time is neither the time nor the place, no matter how much you may hate school.
Yeah. There are other ways to show that hatred. You know, we have podcasting technology. There you go. The student
Mustn't hate. At least not so overtly. Yes, we must disguise our hate.
Yes. The student met with the principal Wednesday morning to discuss the issue, and now the original picture will be provided to the girl if she wants it, Young said.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah. So, okay, that's a little better. The school will also have an open conversation with other students so they have a full understanding on what occurred, she said. So, this is basically the principal saying, okay, you know, we're nipping this in the bud because we know how much of a hot button issue this is. So, but at the same time, okay, we want to make sure you're happy, so we're going to give you the opportunity to get an unaltered one. That's fine, and we're also going to talk with everybody else and let them know, hey, this is why it happened. You know, some communication is going on here.
Exactly. You know, and kudos to this principal, honestly, because there's so many principals that would just take a hard line approach. No, we're doing this. End of story. We don't have to explain anything. Blah blah blah. No, this principal is saying, okay, you know what? Here's the problem. This is what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
She actually respected this girl's intelligence and beliefs enough to tell her why the picture was doctored and say, yes, we will give you an unaltered picture.
Yeah.
So you can have it for your home.
There you go. And that's the way you should do it.
And that's exactly the way it should be. This is how you approach these kind of issues. Because I realize that everybody wants everybody to just, you know, everybody wants to get all up in arms and everything these days.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? There's a time and a place for everything. And, you know, middle school, I'm sorry, I don't think middle schoolers really need to be getting pulled into to whatever political cause the adults of the world may be in there. I'm sorry, you know, it's like they don't have enough life experience yet. Can they have opinions on it? Yes. Can someone declare themselves openly a feminist or whatever? Yes. You know, but one shouldn't. It's just one of those things where, you know, in the schools that it's got to be treading lightly because, you know, call me crazy, it's like a microcosm of society.
Yeah.
You can't just scream something and expect nobody to tell you and expect not to get pushback if somebody disagrees with you.
Exactly. So and the other thing is the student also is making shirts for others to wear this week to show their support. I guess for the feminist shirts to show, hey, you know, she's not the only one who thinks this way. I guess that hopefully that won't cause anything. That'll go with the conversation and everything.
Well, it looks like the shirt doesn't violate the dress code. It just says feminist. It's not offensive. It's not in your face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it. And, you know, I don't think and judging from the way this principal's acting, I don't think she'll have a problem with it either, honestly.
Yeah, so it's good things all around. Good things all around.
Or at least rationality triumphing over rhetoric for once.
Yes, that's even better. However, that's
on the other hand,
we have Texas.
And then there's Texas.
Yes. Oh. A Texas state representative is refusing to meet with the constituents who will be most impacted by legislation she has proposed. Gee, I wonder why. State Representative Molly White, a Republican. Gee, they just seem to be popping up in the news. What was it I was saying earlier? Oh, and she has proposed legislation that would allow businesses to refuse to serve customers on religious grounds. I seem to think, you know, didn't they try shit like that in Indiana and look at all the bullshit that happened there?
Yeah, but that's the problem, the Texas mindset. And I apologize to any of our listeners who actually live in Texas and don't have this mindset. But yeah, there is a conception that Texas is like, fuck you, we do what we want.
Yeah, that's a really bad reputation there. The first year...
It's why, I mean, let's face it, we had 2 Texan presidents, and look what happened there.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Texas mindset does not work on the national level, and that Texan mindset. Again, apologies to any of our Texas listeners who may have been offended by that comment.
Yeah. Well, if they're listening here, they're probably thinking, yeah, stop reminding us.
Okay.
I hope. The first-year Republican lawmakers also proposed legislation seeking to make the state's ban on same-sex. Oh wait, I was right. There's
right.
Seeking to make the state's ban on same-sex marriage immune from court rulings, as long as I can read the lines properly. Marriage is of a holy union of one man and one woman created and ordained by God. No, it's not. There is no other definition. Yes, there is. As a Christian, I am guided by God's word, she explained in a statement. Well, good for you having your beliefs. Stop pushing it on others. But White's staff has said trying to discuss the issues with her would be a waste of time. The Temple Daily Telegram...
That's a direct quote, by the way.
Yes. The Temple Daily Telegram reported last week that White's staff had initially greeted Frank Carlson of Equality, Texas, before turning him away upon learning who he represented. Equality, Texas? We don't want this equality bullshit. Get him out of here. Her staff told Carlson, who works on behalf of the largest LGBT rights organization in Texas, to drop off your literature and leave, quote-unquote. White's staff informed Carlson that the lawmaker is against anything LGBT, quote-unquote. I convey that the representative has stances on some issues and that she isn't likely to change her mind on them, White's chief of staff, Hannah Bell, told the Temple Daily Telegram. We try to be a transparent office, and I told him that they needed to meet with individuals that shared their viewpoint.
Yeah, because that's how you get change happening. Only sit in a vast echo chamber, right?
Yeah, no, echo, no, just no. That's not how you work.
A little note to any people aspiring to political office who may be listening: the real world is not Tumblr.
Exactly. It's not.
You are going to have to deal with people who have different beliefs than you and figure out a way to work with them.
Yes. I wonder if Representative Molly White is on Tumblr. That would be hilarious. Oh. And it's like somebody, Janet Adamski, who is a political science professor at the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor, she's quoted as saying, when a person is governing, they are governing for the entire community, not just those who voted for them.
Something which nearly every political person has forgotten.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter, like, I'm going to use
whoever you want on the campaign trail, but once you're in office, guess what? You represent everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to use, my governor who looks like he's about to eat a baby, Rick Scott, as an example. I didn't vote for him. Hell, I wasn't even in the state to vote for him because I was living in Indiana. I couldn't have voted for him anyway.
I'm under the same thing. I was living in Florida at the time Rick Scott was elected, so.
Yeah, and I'm going to guess you did not vote for him. I'm going to guess.
I did not vote for him. I did not. No.
Yeah. So
I have a firm belief not to vote for any man who could have been Lex Luthor's separated him from twin. And especially after I heard his policies, I'm like, oh, great, he is Lex Luthor. Wonderful.
Yeah, pretty much. But either way, neither of us voted for him. And as I am currently a citizen of Florida with a Florida ID, Florida license, Florida voter registration, all of that good stuff, he still represents me, or he's supposed to. And that just makes me kind of just feel all ugh. But considering that with the way I've seen him go, the way I've seen the news stories report on him recently, it's like, yeah, he's representing, people that would go to church as opposed to people like me who really, I could just care less about church. Maybe I couldn't, I don't know.
You could take or leave it.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't need that. It's just, but you're still a governor in my state. I am a citizen, and I am one of your constituents. In other words, when I'm paying like those sales taxes and shit and all of that, I am in part, I'm pretty sure those sales taxes also go to paying your fucking paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're the reason you are getting paid, all of us, not just the Christians.
Well, not only that, it's interesting he's changed tactics since I lived there, because when I was there, it was quite obvious that all Mr. Rick Scott was doing was paving the way for what happened for making a shit ton of money after he gets out of office.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and then recently he decided, oh, wait, the Medicaid, we don't need to expand on that. Except we totally do.
Yeah.
Because Obamacare, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this lady in Texas, Molly White, fuck you. Listen to people who oppose you for once. Maybe they have a good legitimate reason, like for example, making it so the state's ban on same-sex marriage is immune from court rulings. If the Supreme Court says that your thing is unconstitutional, you listen to the goddamn Supreme Court.
Oh, don't you know the Supreme Court's optional these days. We can all just ignore whatever we want. That seems to be the attitude around here, because it's just government interference in our personal lives. Really? And a same-sex marriage ban isn't?
Exactly. Of course not, because that's holding up the Bible. Oh, what about your stances on abortion? Oh, that's holding up the Bible. Life is sacred. Oh, don't get into that now. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and in case, dear listeners, if you didn't hate this woman enough, let's look at the last little sentence here in this story. White previously made national news by instructing her staff to make Muslims visiting her office declare their allegiance to the United States.
Wow.
Hang on, we were talking about her being on Tumblr. She's definitely on Facebook because she posted the following, and I quote, "We will see how long they stay in my office," unquote.
Yeah, it's just, god damn it. Just because you are Muslim does not make you not American. No. Guess what? American does not equal Christian. And Middle Eastern does not equal Muslim.
Nor does Muslim equal terrorist.
Exactly. Because guess what? There are Muslim terrorists. Hi, 9/11. There are also Christian terrorists. Hi, yeah. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. So neither religion is free of terrorists and terrorism. So it's basically...
Actually, the only religion that is completely free of terrorism is the Buddhists. And even then, what do they do when they want to protest? They light themselves on fire.
Those fuckers are hardcore. That's how you fucking protest.
Do not fuck with a Buddhist.
Yes. Because they will set themselves on fire. And hey, maybe if you're lucky, some of the draft will catch some of the flames and the cinders and sparks, and maybe set you on fire as well.
Hey.
Just don't get too close to them.
And speaking of Florida...
Yes! Oh, this woman's from West Virginia. But she went to Disney World.
Charleston's in South Carolina.
No, there's one in West Virginia as well.
Oh, well, admittedly, all the story says it's Charleston. We have no idea which Charleston they're referring to.
Yeah, I think they forgot to put it in here, but I did get it from a West Virginia news source.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Anyway.
A Chloe woman is suing Walt Disney Corporation after she claims a rubber chip was implanted in her body without her consent. Julie Lynn Hooker claims a chop made of rubber material has been implanted inside of her without her knowledge or consent, according to a complaint filed last month in Kanawha Circuit Court. Hooker claims through intelligence that she has gathered from those who operate the D chip. The main owner-sponsor of the chip is Walt Disney Corporation Enterprise. Hooker is seeking for monetary damages and for the chip to be removed from her body. She is representing herself.
That's an old saying. The person who represents themselves in court has a fool for a client, and boy howdy is it true here.
Yeah. A D chip? Really? I know Disney as a corporation. They're kind of...
Well, we discussed this the last time I was on the show. Disney's no more evil than any other corporation. They're certainly not implanting chips in people. One, where and when did this happen? Two, what the fuck is this chip supposed to do if it's just made of rubber? And three, why?
Yeah, what would they hope to gain out of this? Are they gonna work on making a movie about the West Virginia mountains or something? The community there? They may have already done that. I don't even know. But they certainly would not put a chip into somebody. They would just fucking go there.
I mean, seriously, it's like Disney has no need to implant mind control chips. We're already they've done that by pretty much becoming the largest entertainment corporation in the world. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, hey, even I am going to go and see a Disney movie in a couple of weeks. So,
right.
Technically Disney, because, Marvel is owned by Disney. Yeah. All that good stuff.
But it's fine. It's just like, again, Disney people, again, your monthly reminder. Disney is no more evil than any other corporation. They're not. Their job is to make money. You may not like that they've decided on family entertainment as their primary source of income, but you know what? They're allowed to make money by it. That's capitalism at work.
Yes.
And now every, wannabe socialist and communist out there who's read maybe 10 pages of Karl Marx philosophy is screaming their heads off about how that's the problem. But frankly, you know what? I don't care.
It's like this. If the people are paid fairly enough, if people are in general happy with their jobs, and they're not breaking any laws in doing so, no problem. They're not providing a necessity.
They're not, and it's like, but they're corrupting our children. Oh, shut up.
Oh, bullshit.
Guess
Disney
what?
corrupting our children.
Guess what? You know what? And here's the thing. Disney comes under fire from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. There's so many nutjob conspiracy theories out there. Now, admittedly, some of them are true, but they attribute it to maliciousness. Okay, let's talk. The most infamous example, the Little Mermaid penis poster. Okay, all right. I asked about some of this stuff while I was there because I had talked to some people at Disney Design Group. Disney Design Group, for those who do not know, are the people who design all the merchandise, like all the T-shirts you see in the excuse me, like all the T-shirts you see in the theme parks, and a lot of anything that's not directly animation is usually done initially by Disney Design Group, or at the very least approved by them. In the case of like the Art of Disney stores, where various artists do Disney themed works. I talked to them about this, and they said, yeah, they do that because they're in contact with the people in the animation department in Burbank. And they're like, yeah, they've done that. Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing. It's not meant to be indoctrination. It's not meant to corrupt our children. It's to see if they can get away with it, to see if it gets past final approval. And then they laugh. It's
so
a practical joke. That's all it is.
Hi. I like these people. I really do.
That happens all the time in the entertainment industry. Let me explain. I was doing some extra hours at Disney MGM Studios one year for Star Wars weekends, and I was running crowd control on the table for, I believe his name is Matthew Wood. He was one of the sound designers, but he was also the voice of General Grievous in Revenge of the Sith. And I asked him when things were shutting down for the night. I just asked him, mate, because I saw the scene with Darth Vader being rebuilt in Revenge of the Sith, and this image just came to me. So I asked him, I said, you guys ever just record something on, cuts for internal use only for jokes? I said, because I saw the scene with Darth Vader being rebuilt, and I just imagined the Emperor off to the side going, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. And he said, no, we didn't do that. But he said, we almost did get the $6 Million Man sound effect into Attack of the Clones. And I said, really? I said, yeah. He said, in that scene where Obi-Wan does like that 40-foot vertical jump during the chase scene on Coruscant, he said, yeah, we put that in there, and it almost made it until George made the final pass on the film.
Oh, man.
And George said, take it out. He thought it was funny. He said, but take it out. That was one of the most amazing stories I ever heard.
That is awesome.
Just imagine that scene, though. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, Lordy.
But no, Disney's not evil. They have no reason to put a chip in anybody. This woman's going to get laughed out of court.
Yeah, and when that happens, I think I have one bag of popcorn left, and I'm going to save it for that.
We need to keep an eye on this story. We need to hear more about this.
Yes, we do.
We must see how this pans out.
Yes, but...
Always reminds me of a Fireside Theater bit where they're talking to some doomsday prepper. It's like, I was sitting poolside at the Gulf War Swimdrome when the government put a chip in my ass, and I'm not going to take it sitting down.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, so we're gonna have to go from that all the way over to Prescott Valley, Arizona. I've known people there. Oh, Lordy. A Christian pastor in Prescott Valley, Arizona, went on an angry rant during a sermon in which he condemned a fellow pastor for not endorsing far-right pastor Steven Anderson's call for death to LGBT people.
I'm sensing a trend in this week's stories.
I am too. The pastor in question asked to have his congregation's listing removed from Anderson's church directory, a decision which Pastor David Berzins of Word of Truth Baptist Church condemned as the act of a traitor to his faith, even though the offending clergyman is a personal friend of his. "I like the guy," said Berzins. "He's a Christian. He's saved. He does soul winning. He believes in a King James Bible."
Soul winning. Isn't that essentially what happens whenever Shao Kahn wins Mortal Kombat?
I think so. Yeah. It's a Baptist church, independent, fundamental Baptist church. Well, fundamental. There's the thing right there.
Independent Fundamental Baptist Church would be a great name for a band.
Yes. Independent Fundamental Baptist Church.
Death, saving your soul with the power of metal.
That needs to happen. The offending pastor believes that homosexuality is a wickedness and preaches against it, Berzins went on, but his faith in Burns' eyes is suspect. But just because they don't believe that homosexuals should be stoned, he said that the church's teachings are invalid.
Wait a minute, I'm confused here. Okay. I'm confused as to who we're talking about. Which pastor is saying this? Okay, so...
Okay, Berzins is calling out Anderson for basically saying,
No, he's condemning a different one here.
It's...
Okay.
No,
all right, I got you. Okay, sorry, never mind. Okay.
It's okay.
So Anderson asked to be removed from the... So there's a pastor who is not identified, who is asked to have his congregation listing removed from Anderson's church directory because he doesn't endorse Anderson's call for death to LGBT people. Excuse me. And then Berzins, who's doing the talking, has condemned him as a traitor to his faith. Okay, that's what's going on here. This is a very poorly written and unclear story, quite honestly.
Yeah,
because
it is.
Now keep in mind that the story does not identify the pastor who wanted his church removed because he doesn't believe that LGBT people should be stoned. All right, I think we've clarified that.
Yes. So yeah. Where were we? All right. I think it's very clear in the Bible, Berzins insisted, that people with same-sex attractions should be stoned to death. Show me where. Look, God came up with the laws of the Old Testament. They're breathed by the Lord, he said. And if you think that you know better on how to run a country than God has ordained, he went on, you're against the teachings of the Bible.
Well, let's see. Let's tell that to John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and, all the guys who more or less created this country.
Yeah, not to mention everybody who's running the country now. Because, a lot of them are trying to push the... get rid of the separation of church and state, but,
There's a reason why it's there, gang.
Yeah.
Let me explain something. As mentioned many times, I live in Utah. We are a theocracy in everything but name.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we a theocracy in everything but name? Because even though the church does not directly run everything, they own one newspaper, one television station. They also have 98% of the state legislature of both parties are members of the church. If the church wants something, they get it. They tend to get it. Now, that said, the church leadership isn't stupid. People can make jokes about Mormons all they want. They're not dumb.
Yeah.
They know the type of trouble that they're in, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has taken a compromised position, shall we say. They are not for gay marriage. They are not for abortion. They are not really for, they're not for it. But the current president of the church has said that that members of the church should welcome LGBT people into the arms of the church and all that. Gay marriage is, and despite this, yes, gay marriage is legal in the state of Utah.
Mm-hmm.
It is legal. It has been legalized. As a matter of fact, my stepbrother is married to a wonderful gentleman, and they are perfectly happy. So,
sweet.
Yep. But the Mormon Church, but generally speaking, yeah, it is more or less a theocracy. It's a fairly progressive thinking theocracy right now, which is about the only thing I can say for living here.
Mm-hmm.
But theocracies, yeah, the only reason that we have that it isn't worse is because we had the Olympics in 2002, and amazingly, imagine that, having people from other cultures in your state have kind of expanded your mindset just a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then secondly, you have Park City, where Hollywood descends every year for Sundance, and that's changed a few thought processes as well. So remember what I said earlier. Change for the worse happens immediately. Change for the better takes longer.
Yes.
In this case, it's been happening for about 50 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening immediately, but it's happening.
Yeah. Baby steps. Baby steps.
Anyway, back to this idiot.
Yes, and he's also urged Christians to not to be afraid to defy LGBT people or fear their reprisals. What do you mean by defying them? What? Oh, what?
All right. Again, playing devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Defying depends on what you want to do. Do you want to openly protest gay marriage? Fine, go right ahead. If you honestly believe that gay marriage is against God and you're not for it, fine. Protest to your heart's content. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, as another friend of mine often says, the right to swing your fist ends when it connects with the end of my nose.
Pretty much.
You can say what you want. You have the right to say anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
I have the right to say that is the dumbest pile of shit I've ever heard.
Yes. And of course he's like, no fear the reprisals. What are they gonna do? They're gonna call you out. Is that what you're really afraid of? I mean, or no wait. I know what he's afraid of. He is afraid that they're gonna do to him what he and his kind of people have been doing to them for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's like, by and large, not really. You might have one or two. You might have a group, maybe. But,
really, because there's whack jobs in any movement.
Yeah.
There's whack jobs in any movement, no matter how well-intentioned. There's some idiot who thinks, we're not going far enough.
Yeah. It's just, but by and large, they're going to be like, oh, good, finally, thank you. You know, now fuck off and let us go about our day. And that's all there is to it. But our next one goes to Evans, Georgia.
Back to the South. Wonderful.
Yep, back to the South.
But fortunately, this one has nothing to do with politics. Just good old-fashioned down-home stupidity.
Yes. A Georgia mother is facing charges after police said she hosted a party with drugs and alcohol for her teenage daughter and her friends. According to an incident report, Rachel Lynn Linhart, 35, also had sex with two of the teens. Linhart's sponsor from Alcoholics Anonymous went to police about the incident.
Sorry, I just love the fact she did this and she's in AA.
Yes.
Is AA supposed to stop this kind of crap?
It is. Then, yeah, she's not been following that. I'm not going to say it's a failure of AA because there have been a lot of success stories from it.
Yeah.
But this particular woman, yeah, she's not following the script. She said Linhart told her about the recent party at her home. The woman said Linhart told her that she was 4 days sober when she lost custody of her 5 children, ages 4, 6, 8, 10, and 16, on April 6th. She said her kids were taken away from her at an emergency hearing due to an incident that occurred at her house and she may be facing charges of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Linhart told the woman that her children were with her father when her 16-year-old daughter texted her and asked if she and some friends could come over to party. Linhart replied, "Come on, let's party," according to the report. The woman said Linhart allowed a group of minors to drink and smoke marijuana at her home in Evans, Georgia, near Augusta. Linhart then told the woman that she played Naked Twister with the group of minors in her living room. No. While the game was still going on, Linhart said she had sex with an 18-year-old in the bathroom. Okay, that's still...
That's kind of, but everybody was a consenting adult, so...
Yeah. After that, Linhart said she got into the hot tub naked, and the party continued.
Does this woman realize that American Pie was not a documentary?
No, it was not. In fact, unless Finch was 18, I think what he did with Stifler's mom was quite illegal. Well, depending on where you are. Age of consent laws are different in different states. I don't know what it is in Michigan. But Linhart also admitted to having sex with her daughter's 16-year-old boyfriend that night. Okay.
Wait a minute. Now, see, here's the thing. If that wasn't icky enough for you, there's another aspect to this with this very next statement.
Oh, God, yes.
Ms. Linhart told her she was asleep in her bed and woke up around 3:30 when she felt someone having sex with her. She stated at first she thought it was the 18-year-old from earlier, but then realized it was a 16-year-old who was, in fact, her daughter's boyfriend. So, there's a rape aspect here.
Yeah. It's like, holy
but
shit.
But nobody's making a big deal about that.
Yeah, and I'll admit
Again, I don't condone what this woman did, but it's like, everybody's like, this woman is horrible. She had sex with a minor. No, the minor had sex with her if she actually was unconscious at the time. What happened after she realized what was going on, if she just went on with it, that's, putting things into a really gray area. But there's no question she was asleep. She couldn't consent. That's rape.
Yeah, just a little bit. And even if it wasn't, squicky as this is going to be, and believe me, I looked it up, and I made sure the age of consent in Georgia is 16, so rape aspect aside, it's
still legal.
Still, yeah, technically legal. Very squicky and very, but outside of the rape aspect, that would technically be legal.
But before you start feeling too sorry for this woman.
Yes, she also told the woman that she shared photos of herself and her current boyfriend having sex and other pornographic material with her 16-year-old daughter. Who does that?
Somebody who hasn't actually matured mentally enough to realize you're not a fucking teenager anymore.
Yeah, and
you are a parent.
Okay, even teenage parents realize you don't share that shit with your children. You don't.
Nope.
Just, I know there are people that are around our ages that are probably less mature than we are, and they realize, yeah, we're not sharing that shit with our kids. You fucking kidding me?
Honestly, okay. Without getting into details, I just had to ground my son.
Yeah.
For looking at material inappropriate for him.
Right.
Okay. My son is 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. Details do not need to be shared with the internet.
Fair
but
enough.
Suffice it to say, he and his mother and I were not thrilled.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. Just, no. Yeah. And I know there are things with me out there, well, not out there on the internet, but that are on my computer, and I make very damn sure that no kid that would even potentially be under my care can see it, because they don't need to.
No, they do not.
Go. It's like okay, if you're really that if you're that committed to finding porn, do it on your own. Don't go looking through my stuff.
Yeah, but then there's the other thing there. Why would you share photos of yourself having sex with your kid? Why?
Yeah, that's just, what the hell? What is it? What is this her version of sex education? Is sexual education around Augusta, Georgia so bad that parents are now, okay, nobody else is going to teach you about it, so I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to do that by sharing with you porn of me fucking my boyfriend. Or even
you see, you don't really want to put in this position because your back is going to hurt like crazy. Yeah. And you do this, and that's uncomfortable. And that is technically illegal in this state. Don't do that.
Yeah. Pretty much. Oh, just... Oh, God.
And what's the final takeaway? Leonard is charged with 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor and released on a $3,200 bond from the Columbia County Jail.
Yeah. It's like, okay, the delinquency of a minor... I'm going to assume that that's where like the alcohol and drugs are coming into play, because
like you said, it doesn't if she's not pressing charges against the 16-year-old for what happened, obviously there's no rape charges getting filed here.
Yeah.
And if the age of consent is 16 in Georgia, then yeah, there's no statutory rape charges either.
Yeah.
So.
And as far as I know, there's no condition on that age of consent law either. Florida has one. It's 16 up to like 23, for that. So if you're 24 and over, you fuck somebody under 18, you're screwed. So So I don't think there is that stipulation for Georgia. Squicky as it is, because no, you're
know what?
not done yet.
Yeah, enough with the squick.
Yes.
Let's go back. Let's go back to Bible thumping and stupidity in the South, shall we?
Yes, and it's just one state north, Tennessee. The Bible will not become the official book of Tennessee this year. I had no idea this was even on the ballot. But then again, I don't live in Tennessee.
I heard about it, but I didn't really pay any attention to it because I'm like, oh God, okay, whatever.
Bolstered by opposition from Republican leadership, oh dear, the Senate voted 22-9 to send the Bible to committee, effectively killing the bill a day after it was adopted by the House. Opposition from Republican leadership, that surprises me.
Yeah.
This isn't the time or place now in the full Senate floor to delve into that. We really need to look into it in committee, Senate Majority Leader Mark Norris of Collierville said, about 2 hours before the vote.
Again, also a Republican.
Yes. Governor Bill Haslam and Attorney General Herbert Slattery opposed the bill. Slattery announced that he thinks the bill violates the state and federal constitutions.
Oh my God, elected officials are actually showing some common sense.
Oh my God! Norris led the effort to kill the bill in the Senate. He asked for the bill to be sent back to the Senate Judiciary Committee to address the Slattery opinion. The Senate agreed, supporting Norris and effectively killing the bill for the year. I sure hope it won't pass. I think it'll be a dark day for Tennessee if it does, Norris said Wednesday. All I know is that I hear Satan snickering. He loves this kind of mischief. You just dumb the good book down far enough to make it whatever it takes to make it a state symbol, and you're on your way to where he wants you.
Holy shit, a religious argument in support of common sense. Good God Almighty.
Yes. Bill sponsors Senator Steve
This
Sutherland.
must truly be the end times.
Bill sponsor Senator Steve Sutherland, a Republican of Morristown, and other supporters argued the bill highlights the economic and historical impact of the Bible in Tennessee. The House passed the bill by a 55-38 vote Wednesday after 2 hours of debate over the course of 2 days.
So initially it went through the House, but the Senate put it into committee. Okay.
Yeah. The Bible has great historical and cultural significance in the state of Tennessee, Sutherland said Wednesday, at times getting emotional on the state floor. Okay, I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna say this. All right, whether religion has any place in the history of any nation, whether it's an influence for some things or whether it's just the majority religion or whatever, okay, whatever. And you can say, yeah, okay, a lot of people have been Christian. It wasn't founded by Christians, but a lot of people historically may have been Christian. Who knows? Some of the great speakers and leaders of this country may have been Christian. And that's all well and good. That's fine, whatever, And you can acknowledge, yeah, okay, in that sense, maybe the Bible does have some historical or cultural significance. That being said, it does not need to be a state book, because making it a state book would then show the state, endorsing one religion over any other religion when it's not supposed to. All religions are supposed to be equal in the eyes of the government. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah.
So, cultural significance, I'm willing to grant that, but it doesn't belong to be a state book. It doesn't. No. Yes, no. And I'm really glad that there are people, even Republicans, in the Tennessee political arena, Senate, thank you, that agree with me. This is just, yeah.
All right. So if the Senate didn't go to committee, Norris also planned to offer 3 amendments to the bill. 2 of the amendments would include many other religious texts within the definition of Bible in the bill. Oh, that would have gone over swell, I'm sure.
Oh, God.
It's back to what depends on what your definition of is.
Mm-hmm.
The third says the state will pursue hiring attorneys to defend any lawsuits filed over the law. The move has an estimated $100,000 fiscal impact and was an attempt to kill the bill. Well, yeah, and it worked. Because Lieutenant Governor Ron Ramsey, also a Republican, has been outspoken in his belief that the bill belittles the Bible by placing it next to Satan symbols. After the vote, Ramsey heralded the decision to send the bill back to committee. I am a Christian, but I am also a constitutionalist and a conservative, and it would be fiscally irresponsible to put the state in a position to have to spend tax dollars defending a largely symbolic piece of legislation, Ramsey said in a statement. We don't need to put the Bible beside salamanders, tulip poplars, and Rocky Top in the Tennessee Blue Book to appreciate its importance to our state. So basically what we have here is, in action, the phrase, in God we trust, all others pay cash.
Pretty much.
Says a lot, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to defend this to our last breath. It's going to cost you $100,000. It's going to cost you $100,000 to do it. Never mind.
Yeah. And and it's not just their money, it's the state's money. It's the taxpayers paying for this. Because who's hiring the lawyers? The state is.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. And
the House and Senate approved the state's $33.8 billion budget Thursday. Bills that deal with making the Bible a state book delay the entire legislative process, Norris said. Oh my God, somebody who wants actual progress in the process.
Yes. Oh.
Well done to the state of to these various people in the state of Tennessee.
Yes.
It's an unnecessary distraction, and for some personnel here, it's a diversion from work that has to get done.
Yes. Oh, so I am happy for that. I'm glad I got to share that one. Oh, but our last news story for this week, because we are running a little short on time, want to get through this one because I worry about some of our youth, and you're about to see why. The preteen who became a conservative hero when he accused President Obama of not loving America is back with a YouTube video in which he calls civil rights leader Reverend Al Sharpton a waste of human flesh. You know, I'm not his biggest fan either, but yeah,
that's a little extreme.
That is, yeah. That's just no. And
now keep in mind, this kid is 12 years old, so you know, when you're 12, you use whatever rhetoric you can. So
yeah. The video, which was uploaded to YouTube on Saturday, was entitled, Al Sharpton, You Are the Problem. Al Sharpton, you don't care about black people, Pearson began. Did he say his name? Wow. You don't care about us, and number one, if you think you're doing anything good for us, you're a twisted little individual. You've done nothing but spur hatred in our community. What it also does not note, if you look up the YouTube video, the kid is black. Just.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and keep in mind, once again, let me make the disclaimer. I am a white, cisgender, heterosexual male, age 21 to 45. Okay? I am perfectly aware that I am the majority in this country.
Yes.
All right? I am the majority in this country, and to many people, I am part of the problem. That said, Al Sharpton, in my opinion, and strictly in my opinion,
right,
is one of the biggest blowhards ever.
Yeah.
And I think he does, in fact, hurt his cause more than he helps it.
Yeah.
Does somebody need to speak up? Yes. Does it need to be somebody that loud and obnoxious? No.
No. Just no.
This kid has a point.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Right. I mean, I will give Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and those guys, you know, some credit. You know, they're
they have accomplished some great things. But like many men who accomplish great things, Sharpton especially seems to have fallen in love with his own voice.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I have recorded and edited over, I would say, combined with all of my podcasts and all of my stuff, at least 200 to 300 voiceover things. I don't love my voice that much. So he loves his voice more than I love mine.
And your new microphone.
Yes, and my new microphone. But yeah, and of course his videos have been well received by conservative news outlets.
Of course they have, because Fox News are a bunch of jackals. And again, as I mentioned, MSNBC's no better.
Yeah. Oh, and he says, you've done nothing to build us up, but everything to look like we are the victims. Not everyone is a racist. It's just not true. Hashtag not everybody. Not all people. Hashtag not all white people. I don't know. Pearson, who recently...
No, let's not get that started. No, do not circulate that hashtag.
No. Bear in mind,
it is not worth the shitstorm that's going to happen.
Yeah. Bear in mind, and this is something I didn't even think about when I first started making this like a little running thing. Whenever I do like hashtag not all whatever or what have you, that's meant to be a joke. Don't actually do it. So far, nobody has, but just to be sure.
For that. Just to be sure.
Yeah.
Because if there's anything that's going to cause everybody to lose their shit, it would be the hashtag not all white people.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
And Pearson, who recently accused Facebook of a conspiracy to silence his conservative views after his account was shut down because he's younger than 13, continued to rail against Sharpton, citing his lifetime of experience, all 12 years of them. Yeah, you have your points, but I think Sharpton does have quite a few more years of experience on you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he says, I go out every single day, and there's not one time that I remember in my entire lifespan that I've ever been called a derogatory comment, the 12-year-old Pearson said. You're lucky. You're lucky, kid. You're lucky.
It also depends on wherever the hell he lives.
Yeah. I don't think it says here, but he might say in his video. Full disclosure, I have not watched the video yet. Al Sharpton, if you really cared about black people, you would empower black people to stand up for themselves, to fight for what they believe in, not cause violence, not spur hatred, Pearson said. You don't care. You're phony. You are only in this business to make money, to achieve fame, but we don't want you, Al. We don't want you, Jesse Jackson. We don't want any of you, because you're not for us and you're not right.
Again, not completely invalid points here.
True, but speak only for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson have done some great things for civil rights.
Yeah.
In this country, they have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's again how extreme you find their views.
Yeah. Oh, Pearson.
Again, speaking as a white heterosexual cisgender male, aged 21 to 45.
Yes. Pearson also shared his opinions on Walter Scott, the black man who died after being shot in the back 8 times by a South Carolina police officer. He called Walter Scott's death a tragedy, which it is, but said it wasn't anything more than a miscarriage of justice that got turned into a twisted, race-baiting little scenario in the display of stupidity at its highest level.
And this is where we see why being 12 years old means you should not really be forming political opinions.
Yeah. I mean, it is a tragedy, and yes, it is a miscarriage of justice, but it's so much more than that. There is more than that. That's the thing. It's like, you know, I barely remember it. I did see it, and I did skim over it a little bit, and I didn't put it in because it seems like every week, every 2 weeks, we're hearing about a cop shooting another and killing another unarmed black person, or something like that. There's a lot of them, and if we put all of them in there, we wouldn't have time for anything else.
Right.
But it's just, it's so much more than that. It's like, now that it again, like I've said before, it's been happening. I'm willing to bet it's always been happening. It's just news outlets are reporting on it more, and it's showing and it's exposing that yes, there is still
there's still a race problem in this country.
Oh yeah,
there is. Racism is still alive and well, gang.
Yes, and again, like anything else, like you said earlier, good change is going to take some time. Bad change is immediate. This baby steps. We're going to get there.
And there is always going to be pushback. Somebody is going to push back against whatever they don't like. Yeah. Always. Yeah. There's always, I hate to say this, there will always be racist idiots out there. There will always be people who want to take things further than they need to. I cite in question a thing I saw on Twitter where some Tumblrite tweeted, "It's 2015. Why are we still using he and she?"
Because the majority of people still need those words.
Because they're pronouns and it's language, and you need to be able to distinguish between certain individuals in a conversation, aside from just using their name, and we can't just switch over to using plural pronouns for everything. I'm sorry, we can't.
No, just can't. Again, baby steps.
Yep.
Baby steps.
The world is not okay. It's just basically conservatives. The world is not going to become a wonderful Christian utopia where Jesus will come down and then send us all to heaven. It's not the end times. It isn't. Probably never will be.
No, it's
Liberals. The world is not going to be that fucking Coke commercial from the 1970s. We will never, ever get everyone to agree on everything. It will not happen. It will never happen.
Yeah. I mean, hell, look at, even Becky and me, we don't agree on everything. We
Exactly.
have probably the most stable and firmest relationship that I've ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
And she and I even don't agree on everything.
Well, let me give you even more so. My ex-wife and I, we got divorced not because we hated each other, but just because we realized we were going in two different directions.
Right.
She's extremely religious and extremely religiously conservative.
Mm-hmm.
I am not.
Right.
I consider myself on the political spectrum to be just slightly to the left of center.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a hardcore liberal.
Right.
Okay? But we're still friends. We still agree on many things. There are several things, however, that we're both aware of that we do not agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an understanding about that. She is allowed to say whatever she wants about whatever issue she wants. I am allowed to say whatever issue I want about whatever issue I want. We both have Facebook accounts. We follow each other on Facebook, so we see everything.
Yeah.
And we both agree that when it comes to stuff that we know we disagree on, neither of us will comment on any posts the other one makes concerning those issues.
Yeah. And that's a good way to go.
That is a compromise. That is how it works. That is how we get things done.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Your beliefs, as noble as they may be, you may dream of a day when everyone is equal and there's great equality throughout the land and everybody has all the rights that everybody else has. But it's not going to please everybody.
Yeah, you can't please everybody.
There will always be pushback. There will always be somebody who wants to buck the system, no matter what that system is.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one other thing. Liberals and conservatives. America is not the world. The world has other problems. Okay? You wonder. I have many friends who live in other countries, and several of them ask me, what the hell is wrong with you people over there?
Mm-hmm.
You're actually arguing about this crap? Just a little perspective for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here for this week.
And now that we've lectured you to death, and now that I've probably successfully alienated everybody on the internet.
Oh, bah. They'll come back.
Yeah, because I won't be here next week, most likely.
Well, we'll have to see.
We'll see.
We'll see how scheduling works out. If we wanted to find you on the internet, where could we find you?
You can find me currently on Twitter at Shallow15. I also have a Tumblr, notes from the idiotbox.tumblr.com, guaranteed to be politically free, because I only put stuff on there I find amusing or, my own videos. As far as my videos go, youtube.com/Dubious Khan, DUBIOUSKHAN. I also have a Daily Motion page, dailymotion.com/Dubious Khan. Keep in mind that right now, guys, I did get slapped with a copyright strike on YouTube, which means I can't upload anything longer than 15 minutes until about August. Ooh. So, yeah, and they didn't give me any contact information to contact the people in question to ask them to remove it. Because I've taken down... Huh?
Because of course they don't.
Because of course they don't. I have taken down the offending videos, so I honestly thought there wouldn't be a problem, but whatever. Yeah, so right now I'm kind of in limbo as far as video hosting. Keep in mind, if you want to find out what I'm doing video-wise, just subscribe to my Twitter. I put everything up there. The Tumblr I update whenever I can. Also, of course, member of rtgomer.com. I tend to upload everything there once I can figure out where the hell I'm hosting it. Yeah. So yeah, that is where you can find me and all my stuff.
Yes. And if you wanted to find me on the social medias, you can find me on Twitter and Tumblr at Gomer21XX. And yeah, it does get politically charged from time to time with thoughts that I don't necessarily have time to put on here or on constructive deconstruction, but I still want to get it out there in some way, shape, or form. I do have my own Facebook page, Facebook fan page rather, Gomer the Ranting Thespian. Check that out on Facebook. Give it a like. Spread it around. Spread it.
Spread it like a rabid case of herpes.
I wasn't exactly going to go there, but there you go. That's a good analogy. And of course, since a lot of my videos are also uploaded on YouTube, you can check that out. I think it's youtube.com/Gomer21XX. If that doesn't work or for whatever reason, go to rtgomer.com, go to nerdvice.com, and you can click through on one of those, and that should take you right to it, and you should be able to follow it there. I'm still getting my actual YouTube channel thing set up like I want it. It's been a pain.
YouTube is a pain.
Yeah, it is. I am gonna be glad when I'm able to afford like at least a year's worth of full, unlimited space for video hosting on the site proper. That would open up so many more options for everybody. Oh God, that would be great. And speaking of my site, speaking of rtgomer.com, speaking of nerdvice.com, both also have their own Facebook pages. They have their own Tumblrs if you want to check them out as well. All updates go between everything there. It's great. And, of course, their own Twitter accounts, rtgomerprod on Twitter, nerdvice on Twitter, all that really good stuff. And everything else, Patreon and stuff, that's going to be in the post-show bumper, as always. And, check it out. If you like the show, you want to help support the show and help get more sweet upgrades, because I know this baby microphone is not going to last forever, but you can check out the Patreon, the address again in the bumper.
Oh yeah, let me plug that really quick. Yes, I do have a Patreon page. Please, I need money to make my show better. I've just barely, after 3 years, finally gotten real editing software. So yes, it's patreon.com/Dubious Khan. Please, I beg you.
Yes, and if you go to my site, rtgomer.com, I need to remember to add yours to the list, but there is a list of everybody on the site who actually has a Patreon. So if you want to go and donate to a particular person that's on the site and they have a Patreon, you just click and there you go. Like I said, I need to get his on there. I need to make sure everybody that has one is going to get one there. But that's a thing for later. So again, Thank you guys for listening. We will catch you next time. And until then, this is Gomer, the Ranting Thespian, with Erin Mills, a.k.a. Dubious Khan, signing off.
Good night, Eileen.
Thespian Talk is an RT Gomer Productions presentation. Our show's theme is Kick Shock by Kevin MacLeod. Find out more at incompetech.com. If you like this show and want to help support future episodes, head over to patreon.com/Gomer21XX. For a contribution as little as $1 per production, you can get early access to all future productions, as well as monthly Patreon-only vlogs and announcements. Our show's artwork was produced by the talented Becky Hopkins, who can be commissioned by going to patreon.com/BeckyHop. Check us out on iTunes or visit rtgomer.com for more great shows.